Tucker. High five. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. I don't know how to do that. Oh, yeah, you're right.
I can't. I have to set off the sound. Not hearing very well.
No, can you hear us at all?
Right. For some bizarre reason, I've got the home page that's just in front of me, so I can't see the lobby.
Can you click Get Started?
Get started.
Yeah.
Where will I find that?
Or if you press the space bar, that will close your menu.
Oh, well done. Okay. All right. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Okay. John, where are you?
Raviera, she made it in.
John, if you just press the backspace. Guys, can we all go into the John Donson account?
Oh, this is strange. Zachary's in the house.
Hello.
Hello again.
Hi, Zachary.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, Joe.
Good to see you. Good to see you. John, you here?
Hey,
Are
Tiger
you
Butterfly.
working for our gate?
I'm volunteering.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, I noticed volunteer. They've got a yellow color.
Yes.
Oh, nice. I met Cindy another day. I don't know if but you probably know her.
Who?
Cindy.
Oh,
Cindy.
yes. Yes.
Yeah, because I got lost several times in the hashtag gallery.
Oh.
She helped me. How are you, GW?
Hey, Tiger. By the way, I love your accent. You know, it's
Well, I don't like it. Thank you for
do you know
saying
what?
this.
It's to our I guess to our English or American ears, it just sounds like a dream.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could speak a better English. It's a bit frustrating.
No. Your accent is wonderful. It's really great. I checked out your site and that, and looks really interesting with all you're doing. So it's great that you're here today.
Thank you, GW. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. I'm happy to have. I will have a big knowledge of this topic since last time we met in the Grafton at Baron Grafton house. So it's a very interesting topic.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Zachary.
Yes.
Hi there. So are you streaming this?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. So let me just have a little bit of a look around, see who's in. I know that Brendan was navigating Diana in, and I think John should be here as well.
Should be.
Okay, I'll give him a quick call. You know what I think's great is the fact that you know we're all kind of just making the best of all of this wonderful tech.
You changed color, Jai.
Yes. What did I used to be green? What did the green grape say to the purple grape?
What?
Breathe, brother, breathe.
John, hi there. Yeah, we're in gallery 1.
Okay.
Hi, Diana.
Yeah. Okay. You're in the right space then. Yeah.
The Tiger Butterfly. It's about VR experiences regarding art and travel.
Cool.
So I'm pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So is your name
My
Tiger?
name is Karen. Yeah, my full name is
Okay.
Karen.
Nice to meet you, Karen.
But,
Nice to meet you. Karen, Tiger Butterfly.
Tiger Butterfly, yeah, it's the name of a character of my website.
I
So
see.
that's why you can see my tag.
Cool. I'll write it down.
Tiger stripes for the avatars.
Seriously.
I wish I could add some stripes, you know, black stripes. And some clothes.
What? Diana, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Sorry, I'm not ahead with hands.
You know, I'll just wait for John, who I know is navigating himself inside. I think what's amazing is that you know we're all kind of breaking through the challenges that tech presents, because the reality is that every single day we are just the actual it's just going leaps and bounds. So I've got so much respect for Brendan and Justin, who created this and are really having to keep pace with the developments and the tech. Thanks to Zachary, this is also being streamed on socials. So we've kept the actual virtual space to a minimum, just to make sure that we can get the best possible communications. As I said, I know that Brendan and Justin have really been doing they've really been rolling with the punches, to be fair. So let's just see if John has now made his way in.
I'm grabbing a cup of tea.
Oh, that sounds lovely. It must be like 9:10 with you, Diana.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning from the future. Yeah, it's great. Diana, is this your first kind of foray into an art gallery in the Metaverse?
No, I went to I've gone to some other exhibitions that were all virtual, from some fellow artists who make work using plastic pollution and plastic. So I'm trying to remember whose exhibition it was that I went to.
Do you know what platform it was?
I don't. Hang on, I'm gonna look it up for you. I can tell you.
Cool.
Yeah, it was. Are you guys familiar with Steve McPherson? Steve McPherson. I think he's based in like Margate or
Margate, yeah.
yeah. And he and I have been in a number of exhibitions together. But you know, there are a whole bunch of artists who make work and are thinking about some of the same things I'm thinking about, but we've never met in person. We just made together, so we feel like we know each other. He was doing something. I don't know if it wasn't for Freeze. It was for some big art fair, and they had done a whole digital platform for it, and you could go into all these different rooms for different galleries, and he had offered times that you could sign up to do like, I think it was like a 20 or 30-minute appointment with me. See, so I signed up, and it was.
And were you able to talk in real time?
Yeah, we were able to talk in real time.
Yeah, I'd love to know the platform. I mean, you know, we've got, you know, there's so much that's happened since Artgate started. You know, Spatial.io is just, you know, I mean, there's some epic things out there. And it's just what I'm really pleased about is the fact that you know, all of this community is you know, really you know, these early adopters that are sort of, as I said, rolling with the punches, and the developers at Artgate, and you know, I just really want to say, you know, kudos to them, because you know, they're really working round the clock, and you know, as I said, really rolling with the punches. So I'm really grateful that that we're all here together. As I said, I know we're streaming on multiple socials, and we thought we'd keep the virtual space to a minimum, just to ensure that everyone was able to access it. As I said, I know there's been multiple bug fixes and that sort of, you know, that constant, but you know, it's just epic. And I know, Diana, you're just here as an avatar in your browser, but when you access this in VR on Oculus, or as it's now rebranded to Meta. Meta Oculus, whatever it's branded, very recent. But you know, you're able to see the work scale, and you know, it's the closest thing physically being with the art, as well as having that you know, the connection with like-minded, and also being able to talk to the artist in real time, which is phenomenal. So if we go to the actual titles of the panel, which is, of course, you know, the environmental considerations of an art district in the Metaverse. You know, it's not the art world really knows that you know, art is the you know, really is the, you know, is a conduit for change, and always has. Art into action, I know that that's something that you're familiar with, but more so that as the migration continues into virtual spaces, the benefits that's going to have in terms of the environment are, you know, palpable. So, is John here yet?
Yep, he's right over there.
Wonderful. All right. So, just to kick it off. And by the way, this is a real conversational panel. Okay, so you know, I really want to allow both Diana and John to share all of the amazing stuff that they've been doing. So just as a quick intro, Diana Cohen is the CEO and co-founder
JW.
of Plastic Pollution Coalition, which was founded in 2009. She's a visual artist, and has done some amazing work that I love. As far back as 1994 with her Plastic Bag series. She's also a TED speaker and just I'm a real fan. John Donson is
excuse me.
a veritable pioneer.
Sorry, JW. Before you go into it too much deeper, can I just help the group reorganize so we don't get this echo going on?
Of course,
Yeah. Okay. So so just to help with all this stuff, if the panelists and the speakers, if we can choose an artwork and they'll all stand in front of that, then the audience will kind of crowd around. So we'll do it that way. It'll help with the audio significantly. And then we'll also just do one last technical thing that we're setting up to make sure that the audio is clear for everybody. Okay. So which artwork do you want to go over from JW?
Are you directing that to John, Brendan?
To yourself, which artwork should we say?
Well, where is John? Where is John?
He's just to your left, and it looks like I'm gonna have to help him with some audio too.
Okay, great.
So let's all stand right here, okay? So the panelists, we'll have John, JW, and Deanna standing here. And then so come here and then face this direction, panelists, please. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And if we could get John and JW over here as well. And then if you can come on over here. JW, if you can work your way right in here. Come on over here. There we go. Good stuff, John. Good job, JW. Okay, so for anybody in the audience, to mute yourself, press the space bar, and then mute yourself. That will really help with the echo. You can unmute yourself when you're not. If you are going to ask a question, you can unmute yourself and raise your hand. But otherwise, the only mics on in the room should be the panelists. This is really going to help with the audio quality across the board. And for yourselves, Deanna, John, JW, if you have another, like the live streams or anything like that playing in the background, if you can mute those, that will help with any echoing that's going on. And yourself, John, let me help you with your audio setting. I'm pretty sure you're muted right now. Your audio is. So how you can turn your audio mic on is if you press the A button on your right controller, that will open up a menu. And then on that menu, on the right-hand side, there's a gear for settings. Point the laser pointer at it and pull the trigger, and then click mute myself. So that will toggle it off, and we should be able to hear you after that. We get everyone good and situated, and and JW, if you could turn the volume down just a little bit on your side, there is quite a bit of feedback coming through with you.
Okay.
So just the total, like the volume on your laptop, it's just kind of echoing back. will be nice and situated. And John, if you've done the mute microphone thing, try. Try jumping out of Arcade, quitting and coming back in. Sometimes if you just came in, it can set you up on a different audio network than other people. So try closing Arcade altogether and then coming back in. That should do it. And if it does ask you permission, make sure you say hello. And then to close out, John, to close out through the menu, press the A button, and then exit on the bottom right corner, and then click on it, and then you'll close out and come back in.
I want to place different colors for people. Cool.
So, you're right controlling there. You press the A button, close on the screen, and then on the right inside that screen, bottom right, so exit.
Yeah, where should I be?
Just over here by the artwork. Back in. Great.
Yeah. Okay, where should I be?
Right here.
Know what we call them?
Sure.
Okay.
Right down.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
Joel, are you audible?
I don't think we can use like yet. Can you nod your head up and down to your company?
Hello.
I can hear you.
Hello. Okay. All right. Are we all systems go?
I think so. I don't know. I'm here.
Oh, hi.
I'm red.
That's wonderful. I just
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, JW. The further people are away, the more difficult it is to.
I know. And as I said, look, just let's just breathe it in. It's you know, I'm really proud of what these guys have kind of done, and you know, it's obviously a work in progress. But saying that, you know, we'll get there, and thanks for your patience, Diana.
Yeah, no worries. I think it's cool. I like all the colors. I just wish I wish we had more colors to choose from. I'm happy I was able to choose red. At least I know which hands are supposed to be mine.
Right. You see, when you're in VR, it really is a whole different experience, Diana. And it's pretty. I mean, it's epic. It really is. Because you're seeing everything in scale, and also your hands as you're expressing yourself. Will move up and down. You can see Alex there, you know, moving his hands around. Yeah. Are we all in earshot?
I think so.
Yep.
Guys, you know, come closer. So you know, let's kind of huddle up. So okay, today is a real you know, a real milestone, and once again, you know, thanks to Brendan and Justin for creating this space and for being, you know, such pioneers to create this, which, in my humble opinion, is well, look, it's not just my humble opinion. This is the way that the art. That the majority of art will be viewed, bought, and sold in the very near future. That there's so much development that I know that you guys have had a kind of, you know, every day, you know, keeping up to pace with. And I think that the challenge that you've had is that you've been in so early, and whilst you're the, you know, you've had a, you know, you've been the leaders. You're now having to really catch up with everything, and I just, you know, I just want to acknowledge and respect, you know, everything that you're doing, and you know, and that you've done. So I know you're having to roll with the punches, and it's not just you and Brendan and Justin. It's also the whole sort of dev team and the community. So you know, real respect to you all, and. And I'm really glad that we've got such, you know, caliber of artists that are in the community. And today, you know, we're really blessed with two veritable pioneers of environmental art. Diana Cohen is a visual artist and of course phenomenal founder and co-CEO. Co-founder and CEO of the Plastic Pollution Coalition, and John Donson, Diana, as far back as I can remember, started sort of using consumer waste as art as far back as 1994 with her plastic bag series. And then fast forward to 2009, co-founded the Plastic Pollution Coalition. We also have John Donson, a beautiful soul and a great friend, who is a true pioneer in environmental art. Already a notable artist prior to his enlightenment period, I guess, when he you know, started picking up discarded detritus on the beaches of Australia way back in the early 90s, and turning that into beautiful artworks and multi award-winning pieces too. So just to allow you guys to introduce yourselves. Diana, please, if you can just introduce yourself to a community that perhaps isn't aware of your background and the work that you're doing with the Plastic Pollution Coalition. Diana Cohen, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good morning from Los Angeles, California. So, yes, I'm Deanna Cohen. I'm a visual artist. I've been making work using first brown paper bags and then plastic bags, cutting them up and sewing them back together in 2- and 3-dimensional pieces, sculptural pieces and installations. And I've now been working with this material for about 30 years. Although I think at this point I have a love-hate relationship with my material. That's mainly, I don't want to call it upcycling. I suppose it's upcycling, downcycling, bags that either came into my life prior to realizing that I didn't want to take plastic bags from anyone anymore, or were collected and given to me by family members, friends, and fellow artists who, of course, send really great looking bags. And part of my fascination with plastic bags is that come in all these different colors, have things printed on them, imagery, particularly imagery of the thing that attracted me to them originally was that it was a bag that I was given in a pharmacy, a homeopathic pharmacy in Belgium, in Brussels, and the bag had an image of a dandelion printed on it with the name in Latin, and I thought it just felt so deeply ironic to see images of plants and trees and the natural world printed onto plastic bags, that there was something that I didn't understand anything about the issue, and I don't think I was an activist in this way at that time when I started working with the material. It really was just, it's more like a celebration of all of the colors that the material came in, and the text and the fonts and the images printed on them. You have to remember, at least in the United States, plastic bags really didn't come into popular use until the 60s or early 80s, and it was always this where people say paper or plastic, and plastic bags were really sold to the public.
Oh, you're cutting out.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. I can hear you.
So maybe whoever I'm cutting out for needs to just come a tiny bit closer.
Guys, please come closer. I think that's the key. Diana, you're sounding loud and proud, and please continue.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just gonna say, I really didn't start working with this material from environmentalist perspective at the time. It was really I was wearing my artist hat, and in working with the material, after the first decade or so, a little less than that, I started noticing things in some of the pieces I had made. The pieces I feel like they were very formal. The pieces I made for the first, 8 years or so, 10 years, they were, square and rectangular and framed under glass, and very much within kind of the thoughts of having studied painting and been a painter and thinking of myself as a painter. This kind of limited, structured kind of formal shapes. And as soon as I saw what was happening with the plastic, the other side of my other hat, which was I had originally started college as a biology major, clicked in, and I wanted to know more about the material. So as I learned about the material, I came to realize it was breaking apart into smaller pieces. It wasn't, in fact, ephemeral in the same way that we are, or that a tree or a cat or a dog or anything else in the world really is. That's, nature has created. this is this man-made substance that is, not designed to be recycled, and frankly designed to last for a long time. And somehow, when I say we, I mean like human beings, we've just gone down this, we took the wrong turn at a fork and decided that this would be, I think basically because it's made out of byproducts of processing petroleum and the petrochemical industries, byproducts that were waste for them. They realized that if they added these other chemicals to it, they could turn it into functional materials. And then single-use packaging for food and beverages. So, well, I can talk a lot more about it, with my activist hat, but basically we're poisoning ourselves, and we're poisoning life on the planet, and the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, and the food that we eat. And so I'm pretty full on about it now. And in 2009, I co-founded Plastic Pollution Coalition. Our original focus was that we were learning that there was a lot of plastic in the ocean. We were particularly focused on the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is the northeastern Pacific Gyre and the Pacific Ocean, but there are multiple gyre systems around the world. Sometimes more than one in major oceans, and these all function like kinds of gyres that accumulate things in the center of them. But I wanted to go out and clean it up, and I thought I'd make a big art project out of it. So I was, again, coming to it as an artist. And then the more scientists and citizen scientists and activists that I spoke to who were looking at the problem, the more I came to realize it was a Sisyphusian task to clean it up, and that I needed to look at the big picture. And the big picture is really, for me, was to help create Plastic Pollution Coalition and create a global movement where we called it what it is. It's plastic pollution, where we identified the toxic aspects of it, where we talked about the impact, our health, animal health, the natural world's health, and where we look for all of the different source points upstream where we can turn off the this stuff. So that's really what I come to, and what ended up happening with my artwork is around the time that I started doing the work with and creating Plastic Pollution Coalition, I began pulling my artwork back from some galleries that had been representing my work because not much was going on, and really thinking how I wanted to use my work, which, for all intents and purposes, I make beautiful things out of a substance that I think is a pretty tricky, complex material. And if I found that if I could use my artwork and the showing of my artwork as a platform to help talk about this issue, to connect with other artists who are using these materials, to create presentations, and to use the power of art, not only visual art, but film and video and music, and writing and television. I mean, we have made forays into all of these areas because we're basically going for a massive system shift and want to change culture globally. And I can say a lot more about it, but I think I don't want to talk the entire time.
That's amazing, and we know that life imitates art. So art and artists and the industry really have the greatest power for change. And I know beyond that, Plastic Pollution Coalition has really you've got thousands of businesses and individuals that are really pulling together with this mission, which I'm so enamored and feel a part of too. We're here in Dr. John Donson's gallery, and John, are you there? John?
Right now.
I feel like John and Brendan are still in in the other room trying to figure
Right.
out this.
Okay. Right. Well, look. I mean, the similarities between your kind of Genesis and John's is so it's so on par that it's kind of uncanny. I think the time that you both were inspired with this is on par too. I'm hoping that he'll be able to talk about that. Just while he's not here, I'm so pleased that the both of you are in the same virtual room because it's amazing, and I know that the synergies and similarities and also the missions are so aligned. I'm really, I'm just so grateful that you're in the same room together, even though you'll appear soon, anytime soon. Look, the climate emergency is arguably or definitely the defining issue of our time, and the title of the panel discussion, which we're very flexible with, but just while we've got a little bit of time, I mean look, I know that most in the industry have woken up to this and are doing things to make radical change. Well, they have to, because the technology is advancing so fast, and the migration into the metaverse is just burgeoning and expediting all the time. This is not about beating the industry or collectors or whatever on the head. It's just waking. It's just that they're waking up to the reality. There was a recent report commissioned by UPS that showed that most collectors. Let's break that down into the demographics. I think around 30% of the older generation would be prepared to pay more for art that's environmentally sourced. In other words, they'd be prepared to pay premium. And in contrast, the millennials, 80% of them were prepared to pay more for art that was environmentally focused. I know that there are a lot of great companies. There are some in the UK that are really addressing the shipping and the packaging of art. But if you just consider that there is an art fair, and it's this whole sort of art caravan that goes around the world. Ironically, I mean, I say ironically, it's no joke that you've got a collector that will travel from LA to London to an art fair to see the work of an artist who's based in LA, right? So it's all of these things. The good news is that technology is our is our savior here, and this isn't just my hallucination. This is reality. Facebook has committed in their sort of plannings $1 trillion into the metaverse. There's some, this is how we'll consume art. Look, we're physical beings first and foremost, so there will always be IRL galleries. There's room for them, but the exclusion that's been our past in terms of how we view, collect, consume, buy art, having to go to fairs around the world, that epoch is over, and we're now in a brand new world that you know, art, which of course is the reflection. You know, life imitates art. So, you know, this is such an exciting time that art can really be the be the picture or the poster for communicating how this seismic shift, you know, will really be a benefit. And artists have a responsibility, collectors have a responsibility, galleries have a responsibility, the industry has a responsibility, and also to be aware of the power that everyone in that whole ecosystem holds and their responsibility to drive this forward, because this isn't a joke. You know, we're not just running behind time. We need to act, and we all need to take responsibility, and we all need to pressure our governments, our communities, our you know, everything around us, because if we look at the plastic problem in the oceans, I love the oceans. The amount of plastic going into the oceans is set to triple in the next few years, and I urge you all to read the recent report that UNEP have done, which is pollution to solution. You know, it's hard reading, but it's necessary, and it's necessary not only for us to be woke, right, but for us to awaken, you know, everyone, so we can really make the change and be the change.
Agree. I mean, there are also, just this week, there's a new report from Oceana that just came out about Amazon's contribution.
Right, I saw that, yeah.
To plastic pollution, and this massive, I think it's a 25% increase.
I mean, I know that it might have even been more, yeah.
Well, I know that during COVID, probably with masks and all of the, you know, multi-wrapped stuff that everybody was getting and takeaway, etc., plastic production increased something like 250%. So that's massive. And I know also in the United States, a lot of the fracking and cracking the ground that was broken, and new facilities that are being rebooted for fracked and cracked gas are to produce single-use plastic water bottles, which is insane.
Insane.
And then there was another report that just came out about bisphenol A, which is probably the most well-known chemical that's used in plastic bottles. It's to make plastic transparent and rigid. It's, you know, there's two groups of chemicals. We add phthalates and bisphenols, and BPA is probably the most well-known because when it's been identified as an endocrine disruptor, and it affects our endocrine system. But many companies just said, okay, fine, this is BPA free, and they switched to BPB or BPS or BPC, which is just, you know, a molecular difference in BPA. So a report just came out saying that BPA, which again is used in plastic water bottles, and it's used in the coating of aluminum canned beverages and bottled beverages, and it's also used in the top of the lid, even if you're drinking out of they've now, the European Union has now put out a report that it needs to be reduced by 100,000. And I don't know exactly what that means, but it means that it's toxic. So we're all being exposed to it. Dr. Frederick von Saul said if he wanted to come up with the most diabolical test to run on human beings, it would be this one. Because it changes us in the generational, multi-generationally. So, cheers.
I mean, you know, and that's the reality. I also think, you know, as long as we are, you know, trying to just do our bit and failing, because, you know, the reality is, in all of the plastic that's ever been produced, the figures vary slightly, but they're pretty much in the degree of 8, a total of only 8 to 11% has ever been recycled. So whilst consumers are kind of, trying to do the right thing, putting their plastics into, their recycle bin, and then, just kind of, feeling kind of good that they've done that. Look, the reality is, perhaps close to 90% of that is not being recycled. And this is not about lowering people's self-esteem. This is about empowering people. And artists are the greatest purveyors of, have the greatest opportunity to transmit this message. Because, the reality is, 10% of the producers of plastic are responsible for over 3/4 of the plastic consumption. So look, we need to pressure those companies. We need to put a super tax on plastic. So it's more expensive to create virgin plastic than it is to recycle virgin plastic. Recycle plastic that's been in use since since it was created as a kind of as an alternative for ivory. Plastic in it.
JW, we could go down a rabbit hole with this. I mean, plastic wasn't designed to be recycled.
Right.
But just, there's great stuff happening right now. There's amazing international treaty. There's the Basel Treaty. There's the Break Free from Plastic Pollution Act that has been introduced at the federal level in the United States. There are individual states and countries passing all kinds of terrific laws. The devil's in the details. It's going to be how things are enforced and what alternatives are made available to people, because it's really, it's diabolical. Like plastic and the industries and corporations and the petrochemical industry and the plastic industry have all played a role in creating everything from Keep America Beautiful to,
Right.
And be a tidy Kiwi and all these different programs around the world. And what those were all really about, now we know, was to take the responsibility off of the corporations and companies and producers and to put it on the public and on our children and teach us things like reduce, reuse, and, don't be a litter bug and all this. Now I feel so offended by it. It feels like
me too. And they were actually funding those campaigns, right?
Yes, yeah. So, let's talk about art.
I know. John, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here now. Hello, everybody.
Fantastic. So, John, we're in your.
Yes,
we're surrounded by your.
Nice to meet you, Diana.
Nice to meet you too, John.
Yeah.
I was just going to give you a quick intro, John. I know that you're more than capable of doing that yourself, but we're stood here surrounded. Yeah, so we're stood here surrounded by your by some of your works, and really looking forward for you to share your story, and I can't wait for you to do that. So Dr. John Donson, environmental visual artist, and also senior university lecturer, author, speaker, and just a beautiful soul. So John, so glad that you're here, and as I said before, to be in the same room also with Diana and the whole community here. So John.
Look, thank you very much. You're very kind, JW. I really appreciate all of your lovely comments. I hope that I don't let you all down after some of that scintillating conversation that I've been listening to now for a while. You sound incredibly informed, and it's such a pity that we have to be informed about such a tragic phenomenon that we've seen going on with our planet, particularly in the last 50 years or so. I stumbled across plastics approximately 25 years ago. That was the first time that I'd been exposed to plastics washing up on the beaches in Australia. And it was during a time where I was collecting driftwood off the beaches to make artworks out of artworks and furniture and things like this, just from my home in Byron Bay. And I noticed that there were plastics washing up on the tide line, and I began the whole process of just collecting these various plastics alongside collecting the driftwood at the time. And one thing really led to another. I was fascinated by these plastics. I was going to take them to the recycling centre in the part of Australia where I was fossicking for these pieces of driftwood. And and I ended up just being really fascinated by the colours, by what the ocean and the sand and the sun had done to these plastics, and really transformed them and kind of renewed them into objects of quite incredible beauty to me. And that all happened alongside this other element, which was, and I guess that's what I call the razor's edge with working with this type of material. And Diana, you'd know all about this as well, working with plastic bags and things. On the one hand, you create things of beauty, but on the other hand, you're also working with an object that most people, or objects that most people, most of humanity really, are seeing as being a scourge to the environment these days. So, we have a very difficult task as visual artists, as creators, to create something of beauty, essentially with a message, out of something that is essentially trash or rubbish or recyclable object of some sort or another. And that was really the challenge that I faced back then many years ago. It was approximately 25 years ago that I first started working as an environmental artist, and I completely stumbled across it. There wasn't an intention, there wasn't a plan. It was just, okay, this is what's happening now. I was actually a painter for 17 years prior to doing that. Prior to that discovery, one summer in a remote part of Australia where I started stumbling across these plastics. And before then, I was mainly a painter, very much concerned with colour, composition, tone, and line, and things like this, and not at all concerned with elements of the environment or having social messages in my work at all. It just became apparent, and it became absolutely necessary for me once I discovered these objects and realised over the coming years following that how much of a worldwide phenomenon it actually was, and how much awareness needed to be brought to it in a way that I could bring some awareness to the viewing public by just creating exhibitions of artwork similar to what you're seeing on the walls behind you. And what you're seeing on the walls behind you at the moment really is work that was created in those first years. I believe that there's one piece in here, or it might be in the previous gallery, that was made in 1997 or 1998. And that was one of the first completed pieces. And for the 2 years prior to that, I was really collecting, I guess I was collecting the material so that I had a big palette to work from. And again, Diana, you'd probably relate to that too with your plastic bags. You probably have a whole storage of these in your studio, and you go, okay, I think I'd like to work with a big lilac piece today, or this week or this month I'd like to work on a big wall work using only dark blue or light blue plastic bags. And so then you need to have that stock on hold. And so you learn as you go along, and I'm sure that we all do as creators, but particularly in this area, it's a whole new area. And it certainly was for me back then. I was really inventing how do I go about creating all of these type of artworks that I was inspired to make. And it was just, okay, just begin. And the first thing that needed to be done was to create a palette, create a workshop full of supplies so that I had access to it. All right, so look, I think that's enough of an intro. So if anybody has any questions or please don't let me, I don't want to take over the whole conversation here. But JW did ask me to introduce myself with a bit of a story, and I could literally go on for ages, but I did have some issues with my headsets before. I've switched now to my computer, so that's how I was able to get the audio happening. So I'm here with you now, and I'm very pleased to be part of this panel, and I'm really pleased to be discussing this with Diana and with JW. So if there are any questions anybody would like to ask us, please go ahead.
As anyone's thinking about those questions, I just want to add that John was probably one of the first artists to have a website in the 90s. So again, I think it takes a lot of bravery to actually go into the new all of these new dimensions and kind of be exposed to sort of all of the challenges around tech. So again, really respect the fact that you're putting your work up in these spaces that are kind of evolving. So all power to you, and again, respect to Diana as well for being here. I say that because I really mean it. People sort of want to wait on the sidelines till everything's perfect. So it takes real guts and gumption, and I know that's been a thread throughout your life and career, and Diana's too. So thanks for that. So guys,
Yeah, no, that's very kind of you. Thank you, JW.
I think JW might have just disappeared off the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But I had a question because we're a small group. This is Diana. Just because we're a small group of people, I was wondering if maybe the guests, the other people who are here for the talk, would want to introduce themselves for a minute, just so we know. Because I feel like if we were in a real space together, it would, be a little bit more reciprocal, and that we get to meet each other and say who we are. And I know that Karen did that right in the beginning with me, but maybe we could. Is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
Yeah. Karen, do you want to start? Yeah. I mean, you'll have to take off mute to do it. So, Karen, are you off? Would you like to?
Oh, sorry, yeah, because you said Karen and it's Karin.
Karen.
I thought there was it's Karin. Yeah. But never mind. No, so I thought you were referring to somebody else.
No, Karen. Sorry.
No, Karin, yes. Yes, so I'm Karin. The name of my website is thetigerbutterfly.com. I wrote about VR experiences and AR experiences related to travel and art. And I'm preparing an article about meta and specifically regarding this topic about the environmental consideration of an art district in the Metaverse. And I'm pleased to be here with all of you.
Karen, where are you based? Where are you based besides the Metaverse?
I'm based in Paris area. And actually, I'm moving to the south of France, but the Metaverse
Yes.
and the jungle, because actually I wrote stories about a tiger and a butterfly in the Metaverse, and we are based in the jungle. And I care a lot about the nature and about animals' welfare. And
Very cool.
plastic doesn't do any good to the planet, to the animals, to the jungle. So,
Yeah. I do too.
I do too.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
JW,
Okay, I don't know what happened there. Just a bit of a glitch. So I don't know what I missed out on.
JW, I don't have enough time, but I was asking the other folks in the room if they would mind just introducing themselves for a minute so we know who else is here. So, Kathy, and then maybe whoever's next, Zachary, or
Yes. Hello. My name is Zachary. I'm based in Ottawa right now. I have an education in art and architecture. I saw an ad to help volunteer for Metaverse, so I'm here now and I'm loving it.
Cool.
Awesome.
Nice to meet you. Who's next? Who's the dark blue person? I can't see your name.
That's me. My name is Brendan. Brendan Mcnaughton. And Zachary, thanks a lot for all of your help too. He's been live streaming across YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch. So yeah, he's really helping increase the reach of all of this. But my name is Brendan Mcnaughton. I'm one of the co-founders of Artgate. Before starting Artgate, I was an internationally recognized contemporary artist. I still am. And as my career in life was moving more internationally, it became abundantly clear how inefficient and unsustainable the entire structure of the global art world is. To be flying from one continent to the next to get to an art fair, to an auction, to a museum is an extreme privilege that only a few people on the face of the planet have. And if more people could participate in it, it just does not make sense to be shipping things all over the world. So out of frustration for, seeing the way the world was organized with respect to art and sharing culture on the international stage, I was frustrated with seeing the solution that currently existed. So I was venting to one of my friends, and we decided to put some artwork into virtual reality. From there, we showed a few people, got really good feedback from it, and it started snowballing. We had thousands of artworks emailed to us. Everybody wanted to put their artwork into virtual reality, and it just snowballed into this art district in the Metaverse that we're all enjoying today. So it's still really early. It's really exciting meeting everybody because it's all really kind of early adopter, innovative, visionary people that are coming together in this space at this moment. So it's been a pleasure connecting with everybody and watching this community grow and evolve very quickly over the last little while. So that's me, Brendan, one of the co-founders of Artgate.
Cool, thank you.
Amazing.
Ali J.
Yeah, hi guys. I've had some technical issues. I was like back and forth, so sorry, so missed a little bit in the end. But yeah, I'm based in California, so it's really great to meet you, Dana.
Hi.
Well, right next door. I'm in Orange County, San Diego, and LA as well. My clients
Very
are
close.
over, so it's really great to meet you, a local person.
Yeah.
The communities from all over. And I'm excited because not only, like Brendan said, we have this space to show art across the board, and it doesn't really stop us right where our artists may be based on. And this is amazing because, we don't need to deal with physical artwork and it's just open to anybody. But also to have this kind of discussions, I think it's invaluable, absolutely, to have, meetings of this sort and panels and discuss the issues that matter. And I mean, that's probably, in some level, even more important than seeing artwork is to connect this way and exchange and, find like-minded people who share our points of view and, just incrementally changing something in the world this way. Yeah.
And are you an artist?
I'm an art dealer. I work with artists. at heart I am. And Jai over there, Jai Mitchell is one of my artists, and we're gonna have a panel discussion tonight at 6 p.m. our time. If you're free to jump in and
9 p.m. Eastern.
be a part of it, 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. our time in California here. We're gonna talk about mental health and the metaverse. So it's all these topics that matter. I mean, I love what you were talking about. These issues are so important to raise, and if everybody starts changing their habits accordingly, that's how we change the world, right? And we just shifting a little bit,
Right.
deal with everyday life and pay attention. It's like what we consume, what we purchase, like where do we spend our attention. And if we stop buying certain things, hopefully, that change will happen eventually.
I think as
you do.
as the public, if we demand and ask for or request other packaging and other materials and move away from things that are really ridiculously packaged, that will affect the bottom line for companies, and hopefully they'll change. But it's going to come from policy and legislation.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort of a lot of people, but thank you for what you do, because you bring attention, with your artwork, with your work with your foundation. It's just bringing that issue to light and kind of getting people to wake up and look what you're buying. Like, what is that? We're all supporting this, and it's so bad for the environment and for us. And essentially, it's just stopping to buy certain things. Hopefully, will affect, but of course, legislation.
Yeah. Well, we'll go around the rest of the room so we get to meet everybody. Let's see. Raven?
Yeah, so I'm actually Brendan's partner, but I have an arts background as well. So I went to study at York, did a Bachelor of Fine Arts, and majored in photography. So I do photography as well as education. So I'm just finishing my Bachelor of Education right now in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Cool.
So typically I'm from Toronto. Doing my degree. I'm almost done. I'll be a teacher in May. So
Cool.
mm-hmm.
Thank you for taking that on. We need all the good teachers we can get.
Thank you. It's interesting to see how passionate all the kids are and interested in issues like this. So I'm a social studies and visual arts teacher, so it's nice to kind of see both sides. But a lot of kids are very aware of what's going on globally, which is nice to see.
That's my favorite land to live in, like the nexus of art, science, and communication. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Fun. Yeah, cool. Nice to meet you. And then there's another purple person. Hi.
Yeah. Hey. I wore the same thing as Ray. Yeah. So I'm Jai. I'm an artist in the LEJ Fine Art Gallery, and yeah, we have a panel tonight. And I really appreciate you asking to have everybody introduce themselves, because that's kind of one of the things we're talking about tonight, is how this can be a nice kind of safe space for people. You don't have to be judged by what you look like, maybe judged by your color, purple people. But it should just be someplace where we can talk. And I really love this panel, and I'm really learning a lot and looking forward to ways that I can kind of change what I'm doing. But aside from that, I mean, when art has a message, that's one thing. But I think the art is still the most important thing, and I just really love what I'm seeing here. It's just beautiful and just stunning what you can do, with the colors and everything. So, thank you.
Jai, just wanted to say that I had one of the most profound sort of experiences, in the metaverse that really made my mind up that it's the future, because I saw your piece, and you spoke about it in a way that I would never have been able to experience in a IRL in a gallery setting, and I just think that as artists, just to realize that connection that you've got with people, that you're able to show those works and really connect with them in a way that has been exclusive up until now, and I think will be the future. future. So yeah, just wanted to give you a shout out for that.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Can I just also just compliment the platform for a minute? Because I feel like right when Clubhouse started, I spent some time on Clubhouse and was part of panels there. And I'm appreciating the whatever this is, the compression on our voices that makes everybody sound like a really cool DJ. So I'm appreciating that, but I'm also really liking the directional quality of the sound. It's pretty fast, actually. That as you turn towards, really, that's fair.
Yeah. Also, when you're close to somebody, it's louder, and when you're further away, it's quieter.
Yeah, no, I've seen that on this other platform that's called Fly Machine. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Fly Machine. It's a music concert platform. And you exist as a circle with an image of yourself in it. And if you move those circles, they're like honeycomb things. And if you connect them to other people, you can have a private conversation with them or in a group. And if you move away, then you don't hear each other, and you can turn the music of the live concert that you're listening to up or down. So
cool. That sounds so cool. Alex, you haven't said anything, and I know that's kind of your field.
Alex might be on mute.
Oh, right, okay. Alex, if you can hear us, wave your hands.
He's on a computer.
Okay, he's possibly on mute. All right, okay, we'll get back to that. Anybody else that hasn't we haven't heard from?
Thank you all for making time. It's really cool.
Thank you.
John,
Yes, thank you, everybody.
John, just in closing, and thank you so much. By the way, John's in New South Wales right now, so he was up at. I was speaking to him at 3 a.m. his time, so really grateful to be in his first kind of metaverse gallery, and not only that, for him to actually get up so early to share his to share everything that he stands for in his works. John, just in closing, what's your vision of the future in terms of how we will consume art?
Oh, I think that this is a wonderful development and a great platform for us to begin the process of where we're having a bit of a blending of the digital and the real world art. And somehow or other, my vision is that we have a meeting of the two somewhere, so that you can also have shows in museums and art galleries, because I think they're wonderful. I love going to museums all around the world, and to be able to do this also virtually, I think is just such a great space for us to be able to have access to these days. Ultimately, with the type of work I'm creating here, I would love it that these materials don't exist anymore. At one point, I would love it that if we stop having plastics in the ocean and washing up on the beaches, because then it may be that there's a whole other doorway that opens in terms of creativity for myself as a creator. But in terms of the future, that's something that I would love very much, is if these plastics were to cease being disposed of into the environment the way that they are these days. So there's a couple of visions going on there, but I did want to throw that one in because that is also something that is definitely a vision that I have, is that one day we won't see plastics washing up on beaches or in our oceans or in the landscape and the environment. So, but I think that the meeting point of these two spaces, the virtual and the real, I think are wonderful. And look, it's exciting and it's a great opportunity to be here with you all today, and I really appreciate it. it's absolutely worth getting up early to be able to do this. It's really, it doesn't faze me. It's great to be part of everybody and to meet everybody. It's an honour to be here with you, Diana. It's really great. So thank you everybody. It's a total celebration.
Thanks, John. And what you've just said is really flipping the kind of flipping the script on art. And I know that Diana, the Plastic Pollution Coalition has got a campaign that's flipping the script, addressing film, TV, and media. Did you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I'm happy to. Well, first of all, let me just say, with regards to this platform, I think it's really, really cool, and I appreciate you last night with me, JW, and Brendan, taking the time to help me figure out how to join it. And it's giving me a lot of ideas about things that would be interesting to do that are art-wise or art-related, but again, in the nexus of what we're doing. So I'm going to be leaving very inspired from this right now. But additionally, Flip the Script on Plastic is based on a report that Plastic Pollution Coalition commissioned the Norman Lear Media Center at the Annenberg School of Communication at the University of Southern California, which is USC, in downtown Los Angeles. We commissioned them to do a report where they looked at the top 32 television shows. It's pretty US based, but top 32 television shows, including cable shows and shows in Spanish on Univision and Telemundo. To look at 2 episodes each and review the series, and then come back. And that report found that on average, each episode had 28 pieces. We had them look at single-use plastic versus reusables and refillables. And they found that each episode had an average of 28 pieces of single-use plastic per episode. And each series had at least one, what we call mass plastic event, which is a party or an event where people are being out of a lot of plastic cups and containing etc. And so with regards to that report, we're doing a slightly more formal launch of it. We kind of launched, did a soft launch for it back in November. And then this coming, the 19th, we'll be doing a webinar I'll moderate. Dana Weinstein, who's one of the one of the researchers from the Norman Lear Media Center, who worked on the report findings. But then we'll be in conversation with 3 panelists who include Yareli Arismendi, who is an actress, writer, creator, content creator, and she's the star of a film that came out a few years ago called Day Without a Mexican, that created and her husband did it, Sergio Arau, and they're working on the sequel to that film. And then Bigley Jr., who's since the 1970s here in the United States. He's an actor, and environmentalist, and a producer, and he'll be talking about what he's done both behind the scenes with the storyline on film and television and theater he's been involved in or starred in. And then Kira Sedgwick, who is an actress who, on the set of her former television show, The Closer, all of the work that they were doing behind the scenes in the production and catering to reduce their plastic footprint, but also how she's looking at it. So really, this whole project is a multi-year initiative where we're looking at change the narrative within to tell real stories so that people begin to get the full impact of plastic and plastic pollution and how it is just one part of the, global climate change issue, how our use and on plastic and single-use plastics poisons us from extraction and from the wellhead through manufacturing, production, use, and then end of life, which is generally burying it or dumping it in the environment, which we euphemistically call, or burning it, which we euphemistically call waste to energy, waste to fuel. And now horrible things are great solutions like adding to cement for building materials for homes, into the asphalt mixture to make roads, plastic roads and streets, and all these different uses for it, which again just will break down and release particulates to the air. So, again, I come back to the work that I do, and I don't know that my artwork really speaks to this on this level, but I look at Plastic Coalition as my Duchampian chess game. It's the biggest art project I've ever done. I've been working on it for more than 12 years, and it usurps my visual artwork that I make, because I think ultimately the artwork I make is not as important as helping the world and the planet shift away from using plastic the way that we're currently using it and continuing to poison ourselves with the chemicals from it. So.
Amazing, Diana, and really excited about the Flip the Script. So that's January the 19th, 2022.
And it's free. It's free to sign up. It's on our website if anyone's interested in watching it live. Our website's plasticpollutioncoalition.org. You can sign up for it, but even if you sign up for it and miss it, we then share a recording afterwards, and all of our prior webinar conversations are archived. And there's great ones, like if you're just interested in the health stuff, there's an amazing one from February this year with Dr. Shauna Swan and her new book, Countdown, about the decline in fertility in humans due to our exposure to these chemicals. So, there's there's a treasure trove of content and important information on our site and through the webinars. If anyone would like to check them out, please do.
Thanks so much, Diana. And John, just to close, look, I guess the subject, the title, which is wonderful, by the way, that we've been able just to really explore so many other things. The considerations, the environmental considerations of an art district in the metaverse. Clearly, it allows the visceral experience of being in the same room with like-minded people and lovers of art together with the artwork as well. So, John, thanks for really hosting and for us to be in your gallery. John, just some final thoughts that you want to share.
Oh, look, I'd just like to say that I'm very honoured that you could all come and spend some time and share from your hearts such truths and your concerns about what is the most pressing thing that's happening on our planet at the moment. And I'm honoured by all of you being here. I'm particularly touched by Diana that you could make it today and that you've shared some of your insights and some of what you're doing at the moment, which is such important work, and I really appreciate it, and I do want to say that, and also to JW for setting this whole thing up, and I really appreciate you for doing this, for Brendan for making it available and creating this platform for us. I think it's wonderful. I think it's the first of many that we'll be engaged in, and I really look forward to continuing this dialogue with everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. From a lovely, it's starting to become a lovely pink morning here in Byron Bay in Australia. And I'm looking forward to going for my daily lighthouse walk in about half an hour or so. It'll be an early one today, but it's looking beautiful out there, beautiful sunny skies. So I've got that to look forward to as well. Thank you, folks. Thank you, everybody.
I love Byron so much. I hope if you surf or swim, you'll jump in the ocean for us, please.
Yes. Yeah, no worries. I do that. Sounds good.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you so much, John. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Justin. Thank you to everyone, all of the amazing artists and community from Artgate. Thank you, Zachary, for doing the streams. Really appreciate you all so much from my heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, folks.
Now I realize my hands can move.
I guess
have a good day,
Aaron. Everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, folks. Bye.
I'm sorry. Did you want to check out the gallery? Okay. Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna say hi to